Welcome to Swift Narratives. Join us on a journey through worlds both familiar and fantastical. Settle in, unwind, and get ready to immerse yourself. Relax and enjoy the captivating tales of Swift Narratives. In the serene wilderness of the Appalachian Mountains, where the towering trees whispered secrets to the wind, and the earth bore witness to centuries of untold stories, a sinister presence lurked among the shadows. For years, a series of mysterious disappearances had plagued the region, leaving a trail of unanswered questions and shattered lives in its wake. It all began with the vanishing of Sarah Johnson, a spirited young woman with a passion for adventure and a love of the great outdoors. She had set out on a solo hiking trip along the remote trails of the Appalachian wilderness, her laughter ringing out through the trees as she embraced the solitude of nature. But as the sun dipped below the horizon and darkness descended upon the forest, Sarah's carefree expedition took a sinister turn. Unbeknownst to her, a predator stalked her every move, lurking in the shadows and watching with hungry eyes as she wandered deeper into the wilderness. The next morning, Sarah's friends reported her missing, launching a frantic search effort that spanned the length and breadth of the forest. But despite their best efforts, Sarah remained elusive, her fate shrouded in mystery and speculation. Weeks turned into months, and months turned into years. But Sarah's disappearance was just the beginning. One by one, more hikers fell victim to the unseen menace that haunted the trails, their vanishings leaving a trail of devastation and fear in their wake. Among the victims was Mark Thompson, a seasoned outdoorsman with a love of adventure and a thirst for exploration. Like Sarah before him, Mark had ventured into the wilderness alone, eager to test his skills against the rugged terrain of the Appalachian Mountains. But as he traversed the winding trails and dense undergrowth, Mark sensed a presence lurking just beyond the edge of his vision, a feeling of being watched, of being hunted by something primal and malevolent. Ignoring the warning signs, Mark pressed on, unaware of the danger that lurked just around the bend. It was his last mistake. When Mark failed to return from his expedition, authorities launched a massive search effort, scouring the forest with dogs and drones in a desperate bid to find him. But despite their best efforts, Mark's fate remained a mystery, his disappearance joining the ranks of the countless others who had vanished without a trace. As the years passed and the body count continued to rise, fear gripped the hearts of those who dared to venture into the wilderness. Rumors swirled of a shadowy figure that prowled the trails, striking without warning and vanishing into the night like a phantom. But despite the best efforts of law enforcement, the elusive killer remained one step ahead, leaving behind no evidence and no trace of their whereabouts. It seemed as though the trail of shadows would never be brought to justice, and the families of the victims were left to mourn their loved ones in silence. But then, one fateful day, fate intervened in the form of a lone survivor, a young woman who had narrowly escaped the clutches of death and lived to tell the tale. Her name was Emma Reynolds, and her harrowing ordeal would bring the reign of terror to an end. It was a warm summer day when Emma set out on the hiking trail, her heart light with anticipation, and her mind filled with dreams of adventure. Little did she know that her journey would soon take a dark and terrifying turn, leading her into the clutches of a predator, unlike any she had ever encountered. As she walked, Emma felt the hairs on the back of her neck stand on end, a sense of unease settling over her like a suffocating blanket. She glanced over her shoulder, her heart pounding in her chest, but saw nothing but the silent trees and the empty expanse of the forest. But the feeling persisted, growing stronger with each passing moment until it was impossible to ignore. And then, out of the corner of her eye, she saw it, a shadowy figure lurking among the trees, its eyes gleaming with malice as it watched her every move. In that moment, Emma knew she had to run. With adrenaline coursing through her veins, she bolted through the undergrowth, her heart racing as she fled from the unseen threat that pursued her. Branches slapped against her face, roots tripped her feet, but still, she pressed on, driven by a primal instinct for survival. And then, just when it seemed as though all hope was lost, Emma stumbled upon a clearing in the forest, a place of refuge in the heart of the wilderness. With one final burst of energy, she sprinted toward safety, her lungs burning with exertion and her limbs trembling with exhaustion. When she finally emerged from the forest, Emma collapsed to the ground, gasping for breath and shaking with fear. But she was alive, and that was all that mattered. In the days that followed, Emma's harrowing tale captured the attention of the nation, shining a spotlight on the dark underbelly of the hiking trail murders. With her testimony as a guide, law enforcement launched a massive manhunt for the elusive killer, combing the forest with a newfound determination to bring them to justice. And in the end, justice was served. As the handcuffs clicked shut around the wrists of the perpetrator, a collective sigh of relief echoed through the Appalachian Mountains. The reign of terror had finally come to an end, and the families of the victims could finally find closure, knowing that their loved ones would not be forgotten. But even as the killer was led away to face justice, the shadows of the forest whispered of darker truths still lurking beneath the surface, a reminder that the wilderness held secrets that would never truly be revealed, and that the trail of shadows would forever haunt the hearts of those who dared to venture into its depths. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe, like, and tell us what you thought of our story. Until our next adventure unfolds, stay safe.